Hello, thank you for tuning in today. I know this is a different type of video from what I'm used to putting out, but I hope that there are some open ears nonetheless. I also apologize, I'm pretty new to this Bible study type of format. I'm no theologian or deacon or pastor or anything like that. I've never went to a Bible college or gone to seminary, but I'm going to do the best that I can despite my potential shortcomings. Not everybody can be Jesus or Billy Graham, I suppose. So I'm sure for many of us churchgoers, we know that the Bible is filled with many sections that tell us how to go about living our lives according to God's desires and how to treat others. I guess we can call that godly etiquette. All throughout the Bible, whether it's Paul's letters or Jesus' teachings or the Ten Commandments, we are consistently told how we should treat each other right. But how often in the Word do you see how to treat animals? Not a lot of verses or sections come off the top of your head, right? But that's where our holy research, I guess, comes in. Because since the Bible has the answer to just about every single inquiry you can think of, for today's video, I think we're going to look into what God says about how we should treat our animals. After all, we do enjoy going to zoos or spending time with our pets or little animal friends. And to be honest, some of us enjoy hanging out with our pets probably more than we do people. So I'm definitely sure there's something in here that says how we should handle these critters. But he took great time and care to craft everything exactly how he wanted to make it, and because he saw all of his creation finished, he was very happy with it and was pleased. To start, we must understand at least this principle. For one, we do hold dominion over animals across the entire earth, but that dominion also requires responsibility and care. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, God officially gives man dominion and stewardship over animals, and he gives man, his last creation, the role of a steward to ensure their well-being. It was at this point that sin did not enter our world yet. We could easily go pet a lion or a tiger or a bear, oh my, and not worry about them mauling us or attacking us or feeding off of us for this matter. And there will be this sort of peace until after the last days have occurred. It would have been no different than how we casually pet a dog or a horse as we passed by them. There was an air of peace and nurturing between man and other animals. So perhaps that's why sheep are always so tied to their shepherds, how dogs are always so loyal to their human companions, or how horses are so connected with their riders. I believe probably this companionship between man and animal stems as far back to the Garden of Eden during this time of peace. This idea of taking care of animals can also be found in the book of Proverbs and again in the Gospel of Matthew in the New Testament. In Proverbs 12:10, it says that the godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel. In Matthew 12, Jesus teaches that it is right to help an animal in distress, highlighting the need for compassion. And I want to clarify Matthew 12 a little bit just for context, a little background information. The story told in Matthew 12, verse 9, and I'm going to be using the New Living Translation for most of the verses today. In Matthew 12:9, it says that Jesus went into a synagogue and healed a man with a deformed hand. The Pharisees asked Jesus, "Does the law permit a person to work by healing on the Sabbath?" And they were hoping that he would say yes, so they could bring charges against him. And he answered, "If you had a sheep that fell into a well on the Sabbath, wouldn't you work to pull it out? Of course you would. And how much more valuable is a person than a sheep?" Deep down, we all feel a little sorry or a little sad every time we see an animal in some form of distress. Maybe a cat got stuck in a fence and needs safely pulled out before it hurts itself even more. Or perhaps another critter gets stuck in a deep hole and can't get out of it. And I'm certainly thankful that there are people out there that are so willing to go out of their way and help animals in need. I've seen plenty of videos online where some people even go to adopt the animals that they've ended up rescuing. It is a sight that is very pleasing to God. Just recently, Mom happened to hear this crying noise outside, and she was trying to figure out where it was coming from. And here there was this small little kitten, probably only a couple weeks old, struggling to get out of our pond that somehow it must have fell in. Had Mom been a few minutes too late, it's entirely possible that it could have drowned. And I'm grateful that the little critter was rescued safely and returned to its mother. Going on with that, I want to highlight the importance of showing compassion for our little animal friends. Because we are to be nurturing, compassionate, loving, and a shepherding presence to our animals, it gives us no right to treat them horribly or act as if they are inferior to us just because we have dominion over them. Too many times have animals become victim to poaching, and that's why some species are considered endangered or even on the verge of extinction. There have been animals just recently, like Chinese paddlefish, which went extinct 3 years ago, or the Pinta giant tortoise that went extinct 10 years ago, or more famously, the thylacine, I believe if I'm pronouncing that right, which went extinct in 1936. The thylacine is such a unique example for me because that's an interesting animal that we could, still be coexisting with. There's no reason why we can't, find this in a zoo or anything, but now we have been unfortunately denied that opportunity because the thylacine is now permanently gone. Animals that have gone extinct are usually because of overhunting or deforestation efforts, and that's why some species of bird are now gone, and that's why the mastodons from the Ice Age are now gone because the Native American Indians hunted them to death for food and clothing. Now, I want to stress that killing animals for food and clothing is not a new idea. It was definitely pretty acceptable, thousands and thousands of years ago. But such a thing should be done responsibly and not for pathetic waste, and cruel reasons. Extinction, in the end, ultimately goes against God's plan for everything to multiply, which was the intention from the very beginning. It's not even about poaching either, it's just our everyday treatment of animals. God does not appreciate the abuse or lack of care for our animal companions. Just as God is with us and is there to protect us and love us, He will do the same for the other animals of the earth. Some of you growing up in Sunday school might remember a little story called Balaam's donkey, found in the book of Numbers. For a little context, a man named Balaam, who was from the foreign country of Moab, was sent to curse Israel, but of course, what happened on the way there would change everything. In Numbers chapter 22, verse 21, it says, "So the next morning Balaam got up, saddled his donkey, and started off with the Moabite officials. But God was angry that Balaam was going, so he sent the angel of the Lord to stand in the road to block his way. As Balaam and 2 servants were riding along, Balaam's donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand. The donkey bolted off the road into a field, but Balaam beat it and turned back to the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood at a place where the road narrowed between 2 vineyard walls. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it tried to squeeze by and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. So Balaam beat the donkey again. Then the angel of the Lord moved farther down the road and stood in a place too narrow for the donkey to get by at all. This time, when the donkey saw the angel, it lay down under Balaam. In a fit of rage, Balaam beat the animal again with his staff. Then the Lord gave the donkey the ability to speak. "What have I done that deserves you beating me 3 times?" the donkey asked Balaam. "You have made me look like a fool," Balaam shouted. "If I had a sword with me, I would kill you." "But I am the same donkey you have ridden all your life," the animal answered. "Have I ever done anything like this before?" "No," Balaam admitted. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the roadway with a drawn sword in his hand. Balaam bowed his head and fell face down on the ground before him. "Why did you beat your donkey those 3 times?" the angel of the Lord demanded. "Look, I have come to block your way because you were stubbornly resisting me. 3 times the donkey saw me and shied away. Otherwise, I would have certainly killed you by now and spared the donkey." Then Balaam confessed to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned. I didn't realize you were standing in the road to block my way. I will return home if you are against me going." I do want to highlight a crucial detail here. The angel of the Lord said that 3 times the donkey saw me and shied away. Otherwise, I would have killed you by now and spared the donkey. Just as God is just with people who mistreat other people, he will also be just with people who mistreat animals, for they are God's creation made wonderful in his eyes. We hold dominion over these creatures. We must still be compassionate, not abusive towards them. Their welfare, as well as ours, is just as crucial to God. Each animal, whether it's a pet, a random bird, or a lion in the African Sahara, are all placed there for a reason, and it's to serve a greater purpose in the eyes of God. In Genesis 1, verse 25, it stresses this. It says that God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and livestock according to their respective kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. In Jeremiah 8, it says that even the stork in the sky knows her appointed seasons, and the dove, the swift, and the thrush observe the time of their migration. Lastly, another verse that hammers home the fact that God cares for all creatures comes from Psalms 36, verse 6, which says that your righteousness is like the mighty mountains, your justice is like the great deep. You, Lord, preserve both people and animals. Overall, that is the great purpose of caring for the animals, right? They hold just as much purpose as we do. That's why we must steward and care for them as we would care for others. God does not forget about one bird in the sky, or one insect on the ground, or the inhabitants of the jungle, or the stray cat you might see sneak past your house almost every day. God cares for every living thing, human or not. Just as he loves each and every one of us, so does he for the rest of his creation. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned just how valuable caring for God's creation is. Spread the word around, and remember that Jesus loves you always. God bless you all, and see you later. Take care.